friends, welcome back to my channel and happy 2019. I know I'm a little bit behind. That is basically mid-January, but I am finally sitting down to film a new video for you guys and I could not be more excited. Today's video is going to be a first impressions over the brand new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer. It launched yesterday and I went into Sephora and picked one up just so I could sit down and film this video for you guys. Within this first impression, I do reference my Tarte Shape Tape a couple times. I know some people are tired of hearing it. You either really love it or you don't think it's worth the hype, but it is the concealer I use every single time I do my makeup, so I wanted to give you guys a reference on the color that I picked, plus just the consistency of each concealer. That way you can make your best pick when trying to decide which one you would like to buy, or if you already have this one, picking if you want to pick this one up as well. Just a little disclaimer, I will be talking about Tarte Shape Tape. So if you are interested in seeing my first impressions on the brand new Fenty Beauty Concealer, just keep watching. So I went ahead and did my foundation and then a little bit of my eyes, obviously, but I haven't done my concealer or any contour since we are trying out a new concealer today. As you saw in the intro, we are trying the new Fenty Beauty by Rihanna. I think it's Pro Filter Concealer. Yes, Instant Retouch Concealer. And I am in the shade 150, or at least that is what I picked up. I kind of read over how you're supposed to pick your shade. And in the foundation, I'm almost positive I would wear the shade 170. I've been kind of matched to that shade. And then the concealer for 170 was like pink, which is my undertone, but I thought it was a little bit too dark for me for highlighting underneath my eyes. So I went ahead and picked up 150. I swatched a few on my hands and I just thought this one would work the best. So the concealer I usually use is the Tarte Shape Tape. I know a lot of people love this concealer. I personally do. And in the shade that I've been recently wearing is Fair Beige. And I'll swatch both of these on my hand for you guys. Fair Beige I feel like has a little bit more of a pink undertone, which is normal because that's what I have. I have a more cool pink undertone. And this is Fair Beige from Tarte. And next to it, I will swatch the Fenty Beauty Concealer in 150. Consistency wise, I feel like the new Fenty Beauty Concealer feels a little bit thicker than the Tarte Shape Tape, but here are the two swatched next to each other. This one is Fenty Beauty 150, and then this one is Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Fair Beige. So pretty similar in lightness, like how light each of them are. The Fenty one has a little bit more of a yellow undertone, where the Fair Beige is a tiny bit more pink. But overall, I feel like I picked a pretty good shade for a under eye highlight concealer. So I thought about doing Fenty on one side and Tarte on the other, but I think I'm gonna go ahead and do Fenty all over because I'm really excited about this concealer. And I've used the Tarte one enough that if you have any questions on like pros and cons of each, I could tell you for sure about the Tarte one. So I want to give the Fenty concealer a fair chance. If you guys would like to see a side-by-side comparison some other time, just let me know down below. But for today, we're just going to do Fenty. So I'm going to go ahead and put on the new concealer. I'm going to place it underneath my eyes. Like always, as you can see, I have a little bit of redness, a little bit of dark circles going on. I'll probably put a little bit on my forehead and some in this area, maybe on my chin. And sometimes I do my Cupid's bow, but not a ton. So let's do a little bit at first and then go in because it just feels a little bit thick, like I said, and I don't know how much I'll need. So that's how I'm going to place it underneath my eyes and then blend it outwards, and then we're going to do a little bit on the forehead, and then we'll do the chin, and I'll do my Cupid's bow. And this was all with one dip. I took it out and I did flip it, but all this product is just from one pass. So I'm gonna let the under eye concealer dry just a tad like I do with all concealers and blend out the other placement. As for on my chin and my Cupid's bow, it blended out easily. It looks really pretty. As for my forehead, it looks really good. It doesn't really look like it emphasized any texture, and I do have some texture on my forehead, so that is nice. So I'm gonna go ahead and blend out the under eye concealer. I'm not gonna let it dry as long as I usually do on other concealers just because I don't know how fast this dries, and it looks like it is trying to dry down some. So we're gonna go ahead and blend it out already and see how it does. So that actually blended out really good. I'm trying to look at it up close in the mirror, and honestly it looks really pretty. It didn't emphasize any pores, anything like that. It looks really smooth. I am gonna go in and add a little bit more. This is plenty coverage, like as you can see it's nice and bright. I just like a little bit more. My nose is struggling today, but that has nothing to do with the concealer. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and put a little bit more and drag it out. First impressions, the formula seems nice. It is pretty thick and full coverage, but I wouldn't expect really anything other from this. It blended out really well. It doesn't look like it's emphasizing any pores or textures, which I was afraid of because sometimes thicker concealers emphasize my pores pretty badly, but so far the way this blended out, it doesn't look like it did, and the color I picked, I think I'm really happy with that. It is a little sticky, but I don't have a problem with that either because I'll set it and I can see how it dries down first before setting it, but just initially when blending it out, it does feel a little sticky. And this is what the concealer looks like blended out. I really like the color. I like how bright it looks without looking too much. I'm looking closer. I feel like I can see a little bit of my pores here after I put a second layer of concealer, that it's showing through just a little bit, but I never prep my face right here with like any primer, so I could possibly fix that with a primer underneath, and it also might look better once I set it. But I do think after I added a little bit more concealer that it shows just slightly there on my cheek. Nothing major, just I can see it more than normal. So I actually didn't buy the powder that goes with the concealers, but I'm gonna go ahead and use my normal setting powder, which is the Fit Me Loose Finishing Powder in the color Fair, and we're just gonna set where I put the concealer. And I'm gonna kind of bake with this powder because that's what I do with all my concealers. This concealer doesn't look like it's creasing bad. So that is good to note as well. It's not creasing too bad. I used a foundation that I haven't been using recently and it's not sitting well on my nose right now. So I'm gonna bake my nose to try to help it out. You bake with this powder, it does not move. I look crazy. It does not move, so I have to be careful I don't leave it on too long because it'll be really white where I placed it. So I went ahead and set everywhere I put concealer, and I'm gonna go ahead and brush it off just slightly on the areas that I don't really need to bake. I'm baking underneath my eyes, but I don't need to bake my chin or my forehead. I still think my forehead area looks good. Not a lot of texture still, even after setting that concealer. So that is promising. Okay, so we let that sit long enough. So I'm gonna go ahead and brush it off. As you can see, this powder is bright. So this concealer looks really nice with this powder actually. I feel like this powder is a little tricky to work with. If you haven't tried it before, like I said, it just likes to stick to the face, which is what setting or finishing powder does, but you have to be careful when baking because it likes to just cling to everything, especially if you leave it on too long. And it did help with this little area that I said I could kind of see my pores. I feel like setting the concealer helped, and it just kind of blended and melted into the skin. So this is what the concealer looks like blended out and set. As of right now, it looks really nice. I'm gonna go ahead and finish the rest of my face off camera, and then we will be back to discuss price points and what I think as a first impressions for this concealer. I will try it out obviously more than this one time, but I will let you know what I think as of right now when I am back. And this is the look I came up with, just something simple and girly. So let's get into why you're watching this video and go over what I think. So overall, I do really like this concealer. It retails for $26, which is $1 cheaper than the Tarte Shape Tape. Although it does have less product in the bottle. It comes with 0.27 fluid ounces, and the Shape Tape comes in 0.33, and I'm just referencing that because this is the only concealer I really use that I really like, so I just want to let you know the differences and similar qualities that they both have. One thing that I do want to mention about the Fenty concealer is it is a thicker consistency. There are good things and bad things about that, but I feel like overall it's not a big deal. It's just something you need to know before picking it up yourself and using it. As for me, thicker consistency concealers work just fine. I just have to have a little bit of a lighter hand. In the long run, that just means it will last longer for me. I just have to be careful about layering. So doing a nice thin layer and then going in with another thin layer is probably more ideal when wanting more coverage than doing a huge amount like I like to do with my other concealer all at once. It did blend out really well, and it also set really well with all my other products so far. It looks really nice, and I do think I picked a good shade, 150. So in reference, if you're close to my shade and you want something that's a little bit more brightening, I did pick up 150 in the Fenty concealer. So obviously I need to test it out, wear it, see how well it wears throughout the day, but I think I'm going to like it. I will let you guys know in the comments down below if I have any issues, but as of right now, I really think this is a great contender for a good high-end concealer. I don't have a problem with it. It honestly performed really well, and I'm excited to keep trying it. And that is it for this video. I just wanted to sit down and do a quick first impressions on the new Fenty Beauty Pro Filter Instant Retouch Concealer, since it did launch yesterday as of the time that I'm filming this video. I know it's important for you guys to see honest reviews and how it works on other people's skin when new products launch, and I was really excited to try this one out for you. If you did like this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!